a little read part of that decision.
I was out by then. So speaking of gender bending, what do you make of the shooting in Minneapolis? Like, how should we think of? There's so many different threads there. I don't really understand.
Did you read the manifestos?
I did not.
The diaries? So I took a look.
I saw they were in Cyrillic script.
Yes, Cyrillic. My Cyrillic's not great, but we had some translations done, and you could read the writing on the magazines. And the first thing that struck me, I mean, after the horror of it, you just think the most vulnerable people of the church being attacked by this maniac. The first thing that struck me was how apparently incoherent it all was, because it's an attack on a Catholic church, on these like innocent little kids in a Catholic church. And then if you look on the guns and on the magazines, it's not just anti-Christian. It's anti-Muslim. It says remove kebab. It's anti-Jewish. 6 million wasn't enough. It's nihilistic. It's anti-gay. The guy was a tranny. And then there's the scariest part of it is on this page. There's a picture he drew of himself, and it's him looking in a mirror, and he's got the gun behind him, and in the mirror is a picture of a demon. And that's scary enough.
Like a goat-headed demon.
Like a goat-headed Baphomet-looking demon. When you translate the Cyrillic, the first thing that's written, top left of the page, is, who am I? And this is really jarring because you recognize that Moses at the burning bush, he asks God, who are you? Who will I tell them that you are? And God says, I am who I am. I am. Christ says, before Abraham was, I am. This is his declaration that he's God. I am. And a great priest friend of mine, Father Rutler, once observed that when you're with God, you know who you are. You know your identity. Modernity thinks that you have to leave God and just totally go and make yourself a God, and then you'll be truly yourself. You'll find yourself. That's not true. You become much more yourself, much more perfectly yourself, if you do what you're supposed to do and align yourself with God. And when you don't identify yourself with I am, then you're left with this pathetic question, who am I? So you see this obvious demonic influence there. And what struck me too, with all of these apparent contradictions, it's anti-Christian and also anti-Muslim and Jew. It's radically LGBT, but also kind of anti-gay. It's anti-Trump, kill Trump right now, but it's also has all these kind of far right-wing slogans. And it reminded me, which is very important to remember, especially in our line of work, because you're constantly reading all this radical stuff.
Right,
and you're on
looking
Twitter
for the easy explanation. Like, this is a representative of this group or this idea that I already dislike, and now you've confirmed that I have every reason to dislike this group. I mean, this is the effect of social media. But this guy, it's like, obviously I'm opposed to the tranny thing passionately, but
you realize that demons, which are real, they're not under every rock, but they're real. There is such a thing as spirits, and they'll try to get you from any angle. They'll try to get, if they think they're going to bang you from the right, they'll get you from the right. If they're going to get you from the left, they'll get you from up or down.
That's right.
All they want to do is devour you. It's like Lewis and the Screw Tape Letters. Just any tactic that will let them get a hold of you. And it's so clear with this guy because you realize this guy was being obsessed from every angle.
Wow. So did you know that before the current generation, chips and fries were cooked in natural fats like beef tallow? That's how things used to be done, and that's why people looked a little slimmer at the time and ate better than they do now. Well, Masa Chips is bringing that all back. They've created a tortilla chip that's not only delicious, it's made with just 3 simple ingredients. A, organic corn. B, sea salt. C, 100% grass-fed beef tallow. That's all that's in it. These are not your average chips. Masa chips are crunchier, more flavorful, even sturdier. They don't break in your guacamole. And because of the quality ingredients, they are way more filling and nourishing, so you don't have to eat 4 bags of them. You can eat just a single bag, as I do. It's a totally different experience. It's light, it's clean, it's genuinely satisfying. I have a garage full, and I can tell you they're great. The lime flavor is particularly good. We have a hard time putting those down. So if you want to give it a try, go to Masa Chips, MASAchips.com/Tucker. Use the code Tucker for 25% off your first order. That's MasaChips.com/Tucker. Use the code Tucker for 25% off your first order. Prefer to shop in person? In October, Masa is going to be available at your local Sprouts supermarket. So stop by and pick up a bag before we eat them all. And we eat a lot. The fact that he drew a picture, and that is one of the few things I saw from the manifesto, pretty clear rendition too. I mean, he was a decent artist of himself looking in the mirror and a demon staring back at him. I mean, that seems like a page one story.
Yes.
This guy was possessed, or at least influenced by, in him was some supernatural force causing him to murder kids.
And think about the two opposing errors that have led to this just in the last quarter century. In the 2000s, I remember it vividly because I fell away from faith during this time. There was the new atheism, materialism, what, God's a spaghetti monster. Come on, there's nothing but flesh and blood. We're just, synapses firing. It's a tale told by an idiot signifying nothing. That was one error. I think that's fallen away.
Yeah.
Then
I don't think anyone believes that anymore.
No, but now we've fallen into the opposing error, which is to say, actually, the material world has nothing to do with who you really are. Your body has nothing to do with who you really are. Your true self is this purely immaterial thing. So if you're a man, you can really be a woman or what have you. And those are opposing errors that oppose the real dignity of the human person, who is both spirit, soul, and body.
Once again, something I hadn't thought of. So interesting. Do you think that the fact that people live their lives digitally has allowed them to imagine that the body has no significance?
Precisely. And this is the point that I think a lot of people have not made, which is that, of course, the trans ideology is in many ways deader than disco at this point. The Democrats are running away from it.
Are they?
I think so. They're downplaying it. It really hurt them in 2024. I think they realized we reached peak sexual madness in 2023. They at least have to publicly back off. However, how did we get to that place? You could say, well, it begins with feminism. The idea that a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Men and women are the same. Goes into the LGBT movement, which says men and women are the same. Goes into gay marriage, so-called, which says men and women are the same. So 2 men and 2 women are the same as a man and a woman. Leads into transgenderism, a man can be a woman. Okay, I see that through line. But just think about the technological aspect. If I live my life on this little portal to hell that's in my pocket.
It is a portal to hell.
All day long I'm sitting
exactly where it goes.
If that's where I live in my own perception, then my body really doesn't matter that much, does it? I'm not like the biggest, Achilles in the world, right? I'm not some hulking Adonis. I'm not an athlete, but it doesn't really matter. I just live in this virtual world. So is it so crazy to think that your body doesn't matter at that point?
I think that's, my instinct has been for the last few years that physical reality does really matter, even as I feel like I've had a heightened spiritual awareness and the dead certain knowledge that there is an unseen realm that is acting on us all the time, and that's as real as anything. I sincerely believe that. But on the other hand, I do see a lot of ignoring of the physical reality.